Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille show. It is absolutely great to be with you and to connect with you guys through this platform. Thank you for joining us on today is what, Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. On a Tuesday, the days run together when you work the hours we work here at I Love CVille. We have a phenomenal entrepreneur on set, Chrissy Benninger. She's the owner of Bluegrass Grill and Bakery. This restaurant is just freaking awesome. I think Charlottesville just loves this restaurant. I'm so excited to showcase her from a businesswoman standpoint, from a personal standpoint, her entrepreneurial journey, what she loves about Charlottesville and working within this community. She has had a number of years in food services. She's been working in food services since she was 14 years old. A number of different restaurants, local and corporate, a number of different states as well, starting, I believe, in New Jersey at a diner in New Jersey.
Yep.
We're going to showcase her journey here on the I Love CVille show. It's the best of Charlottesville, and Chrissy and Bluegrass Grill and Bakery undoubtedly epitomize the best of CVille. Let's thank some of the people that make this program possible. We will give some love first to Interstate Pest and Service Companies. We are their proud advertising agency of record. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, I'll tell you a quick story. This company started in 1969 with just one man and one truck. He would go to his first customer, service the first customer successfully, and in 1969 would find the closest payphone and call his second customer and say, "May I go see you now?" Today, Interstate Pest and Service Companies is 4 generations strong, 4 family generations strong, based in Charlottesville with the headquarters on Harris, a location in Richmond, an office in Richmond, an office in the Shenandoah Valley, and almost 100 happy employees. Those are the kind of stories we love to celebrate on the I Love CVille show on the I Love CVille network. We give some props to the good doctor, Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. This guy, whether it's chiropractic care, physical therapy, sports medicine, just care, just attention, is changing people's lives. Who's got your back? Dr. Wagner's got your back. We're also his proud advertising agency of record. Now, guys, you can be a part of this program by leaving a comment, a like, or a share in any of the Facebook pages you're watching. Harris Tolber's our director. Judah Wickower and Lauren Linsky upstairs help make the program possible. A lot of folks watching right now. I think we should go to the studio cam, and let's welcome Chrissy to the show. First, I'm going to say, how are you, Chrissy? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I am doing well. I'm doing great.
That's great.
I'm awake.
I know the feeling. I am awake as well.
Like this, but I'm awake.
Christopher Marks said it's been a while, but the food is so good at Bluegrass Grill and Bakery. Laura Fauner's watching. We were just talking positively about you, Laura. We start with the same question every time, and it's kind of like the birth story or the flip book of your life. Personal first. Who is Chrissy, the person, the mom? Passions, hobbies, interests, just who you are.
Okay. Well, let's see. I started in the industry in food service when I was 14, on my 14th birthday. I went to a local diner in a very small town in New Jersey and got a job. It was my best friend's parents' little diner, and I got a job there. And never left food service.
I love it.
Never left. I waited tables in a bunch of places in New Jersey. I moved to Fort Collins, Colorado for a year when I ended up getting pregnant with my son. And I worked in one place when I was there, and then we moved back to New Jersey. Went back to one of my old places that I worked at. And then my ex-husband and I moved to Virginia to be in between his parents and my parents.
Okay. They're
in North Carolina, and his were in New Jersey. And we stayed. We fell in love. So I've been here 22 years now. My son's 25. So yeah, 22 years. We lived on Shannon Farm. You know where that is?
I don't know where that is.
Oh,
I was going to ask you.
Shannon Farm is an intentional community out in Nelson County.
Okay. What does that mean?
It's kind of like, they're going to hate me for saying, it's a hippie subdivision, basically.
Okay.
You have to get a member, you have to petition membership, have everybody there accept you, and then you can either build a property or rent one of the properties that is on there. And it gave my children an amazing, amazing place to grow up. 500 acres, wild, wild, wild.
Wild. How so?
Wild in they keep it so that you can only put houses on certain parts of it. So most of the 500 acres is just trees and forests, and there's a river and a lake, and it's like the houses are called clusters. So there's like 5 or 6 houses per cluster kind of scattered around Shannon. And it's just a fairly like-minded group of people. You know, they're concerned with climate change. They're concerned with the environment. They're concerned with life in general. So my kids grew up there with a literal pack of other kids, and they just ran wild.
Sounds fun.
It's totally fun, you know, life before screens, pretty much. And they'd be gone for hours, and then like 20 kids would show up at my doorstep, and all want to be fed.
And did you feed them all?
I did. I made them quesadillas.
Did you? Love quesadillas.
I made them quesadillas.
Cheese and chicken?
Just a lot of them were vegetarian, so it
Okay.
was just cheese mostly. And I homemade the tortillas, which was like they would show up in packs at my house. Like, maybe you can get your mom to make us quesadillas. And Aspen would come up. He's like, "Mom, can you make us quesadillas?" I'm like, 30 of you? Are you kidding me? But I'd do it. I'd make them all quesadillas.
So you moved to Virginia to be in between your ex-husband's family in New Jersey and your family in North Carolina.
Yes.
Fell in love with Virginia, fell in love with Nelson County, and then you dive even deeper into food services.
Yes. My first job in Charlottesville was at Casella's.
Casella's.
In the Barracks Road Shopping Center.
We love Casella's.
Casella's is an amazing pizza place run by actual New Yorkers, the Casellas. And I worked there for a few years. Then I went to Applebee's for a few months. Didn't stay.
I was going to say, did that fit your MO? Were you like, I got to get the hell out of here?
I ended up befriending a girl that worked there, and she knew the Ferrugios, who were opening their family-style Italian restaurant. And she said, come, we need help. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come.
Tell us the who, what, when, where, why of the Ferrugios, because this was a great spot.
Ferrugios was an amazing they served everything in giant bowls.
Yeah.
They were heavy, but good God, the food was so good. So her boyfriend was one of the cooks there. I don't remember names at this point. And I stayed at that job from the day they opened till the day they shut down.
Felt like home?
Tom was amazing. It did, because they were also from up north. So, we jived in a way that I didn't with people that were from the South. And I was still kind of northern in a lot of ways at that point. Not so much anymore.
Right.
But at that time, I'm like, oh, the accent. He still has the accent. But that place, I wish it had done better. I wish he had had the money for marketing. But he never did any kind of advertising or marketing or anything, and it just kind of, which made me really sad. I probably would have stayed there a long time.
And then from Ferrugios?
Ferrugios, I went unemployed for a couple of months, and then I landed at the Blue Moon Diner.
Now it starts, huh?
The Blue
Moon Diner. Iconic, West Main,
Oh,
epitomized
my
Charlottesville.
heavens.
Everyone knows everybody's business. You go
Oh,
in
my
there
God.
and can't help but know 18 people.
At least.
Right.
At least. Your waitress sees you come in and slides the beer down the bar. So
Knows your order.
Knows exactly what you want every time. I was there for at least 4 years. I was there the day they shut down with Mark and Gus. Then I moved on to Harvest Moon Catering for a year.
Okay.
Discovered that I did not like catering.
That's brutal.
I don't like catering.
It's hard.
It's one of the parts of the business that I've just avoided at all costs. But I did it. And then from there, I went to Southern Culture.
Oh, love Southern Culture.
Also for their last couple of years. They closed while I was still there. And And while I was there, I was looking for another job.
Okay.
Wasn't, it was obvious the place was tanking. Dave was about to sell it, or he was in the throes of selling it. And I just started walking the beat, like looking for somewhere that would fit my schedule. My children were still young at that point and in school. So I wanted a job that would fit that parameter of being able to be home when they got home from school. And just wandered into Bluegrass. It was in February. It was cold. And, walked in, asked them if they had anything, told them how many years of experience I had at that point, and they said no. I said, okay. Walked out the door and got a phone call that night. And they said, we have one shift from 11 to close.
Okay.
I said, sure, I'll take it.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. to close,
To
which
what,
is at
like-
2.
yeah.
So like 3 at the latest.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. Why not? It's better than nothing. And from that point, by the end of the summer, I was full-time. And after that, I started managing, like becoming their first general manager.
And what year was this?
Oh, God. 2006,
Okay.
I want to say.
So 2006.
Give or take.
Downtown's not going to Ix yet.
Not at all.
Okay.
Nope.
There's still some sketchy elements around.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
This Bluegrass had not built the reputation that you had evolved it into.
Not yet. They had a reputation, but not quite what it is
As
at this
crazy
point.
popular as it is now.
Not quite.
Yeah. 2006, I had just moved to Belmont, and I was in Little Graves.
Okay.
So I was patronizing Bluegrass then.
Okay.
Seeing the evolution of what you've done to that restaurant firsthand. So, and I mean that incredibly positive.
Oh my God.
So 2006, you're the GM.
I'm the GM.
You're starting to fall in love.
I'm starting to think that this is a place that I could stay for
Okay.
a really long time. I had absolutely no interest in opening a restaurant, in running a restaurant, in owning a restaurant. I just was like, this is great. I'm waiting tables. I'm making money. I actually like who I'm working with. I like the shifts I'm working. I'm home by 3 o'clock. This is just effing amazing. And the couple that owned it, Jim and Lala Simcoe, it was probably about a year or two later, they came to me and they said, would I like to become one of their business partners?
Okay. So this is roughly 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't even think about it, not for even a second. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. And I gave him an answer right there. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Why not? I mean, I'm already here full time. I'm already, starting to do all this stuff. And that changed everything. It just changed everything.
What did being a business partner at that time consist of?
So the arrangement that we had made was that I was going to run the restaurant,
Okay.
the day-to-day,
Okay.
and that Jim and Lala were going to be doing more of the administrative side of things. So what that ended up entailing, originally it started out as just me being there from like 7 to close, which it's not terrible. I still waited tables. I started slowly giving most of my shifts away, I think, except the weekends, so that I could do other things, be other things.
Sure.
And then...
So you could learn the business.
Yes, yes. And then I think we were still all business partners. I lost both of my line cooks in less than a month.
Shit.
So the one side of the business...
When it rains, it pours.
Yes, it does. So the one side of the business that I hadn't really delved into
Was back of the house?
was the line.
Okay.
I've done everything in the back of the house, but at this point I was baking, but the line.
Okay.
I'd done the line during the week. So what ended up happening was it was Saturday, and I was already on the line for the first cook that we had lost. And, you know, the second cook's supposed to be in around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and it's 8 o'clock, and it's 8:30, and it's 9 o'clock, and I'm getting my ass handed to me, and everyone's looking at me. I'm like, dude, I don't know, and I'm calling, and I'm calling, and I'm calling, and I'm calling, and so I was all by myself on a Saturday, which could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Always can be.
I made it till about noon. I told them to shut it down. I still had to cook for everybody that was still on the list. So I was still running until about 2 o'clock. And that scared the ever-living daylights out of me. Immediately made me start go hiring people. And that is how I ended up with Ed, who is my main man. He is awesome and
You
fast.
hired Ed?
I hired Ed.
Yeah.
And pretty much everyone that's there now, I hired, except Brian had worked for Lala and Jim and then came back. So he's been with me now for a few years. Ed's been with me for at least 7. There's a woman that's worked there literally since the day the place opened.
And I love that aspect of your restaurant. It's the same people.
It's the same people.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves unless they're like a college kid leaving
Right.
town. But Casey's been there for at least 6 years. Matt's been there for like 3. Mario's been there for like 8. You know, Ed's been there. Pat's been there for 17 years, literally since the day the place opened. My daughter, my son. So yeah, it literally is the same 10 people every day, all the time. And nobody leaves unless they're like, my son was the last one to leave because he left for Los Angeles.
Right.
But yeah, nobody leaves. Everyone has this huge turnover. And I'm like, I should not, jinx
I'm
myself
knocking
like
for you as well. The
Shouldn't
Wegmans
jinx
effect has
myself
not
like that,
impacted you. It
but-
has impacted every other restaurant.
I am blessed, absolutely blessed with like the best crew in town and almost no turnover. I'm just shocked. It's just one of those things that I've always lived with and worked with in other places. And for it to not affect me, it makes me really, really grateful that this place and we all are a family and that it's that amazing
I totally
and that
feel
good
it.
that nobody wants to leave.
I love it. That's the end of the first
happy
sizzle
with it.
reel. Start the sizzle reel, and the sizzle reel is a highlight reel that we're going to send to you. Start the sizzle reel where she walked into the Bluegrass Grill for the first time. And it was 2006 for the first highlight reel. Let's thank some of the people that are joining us. Drew Kraft is watching in Brooklyn now. What's up, Drew? Nikki Wooten Chambliss is watching right now. Rose LeMaster says, that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Way to go, Chrissy. Daniel and Mary Wolf will join us tomorrow. They're now neighbors in the glass building of Bluegrass Grill. Andre
Nice.
Xavier, the owner of CVille Hop-On Tours. Matt Wilson is watching. John Updike has a message of, I've heard the Bluegrass Grill is so good, it's hard to get in on Sundays. What is the next best day to go? John, it's like that all the freaking time. All the time. Earlier in the week, maybe not
During
as
the
much
week,
on the weekends.
during the week, on the weekends, there's no hope.
It's always like that.
On Sunday, we open the door
No
at 8:30.
chance.
We're on an hour wait by 8:32.
It is that
it's
good.
literally the place fills up, and everyone that didn't get to sit down, they're screwed. It's an hour wait.
And
I've never worked in a place like
I've
that.
never seen a place like that.
Me neither.
I've never seen a
All
place
the
like
years.
that.
Me
Edward
neither.
Paul Mims says you are looking great.
Woo!
Edward Paul Mims is giving you some props right now. Christopher Mark, Jason Haddock, Cena Floyd, John Broom, Tim Ryan, Chris Turner, Grace Australia. A lot of folks watching right now.
Wowie,
We're going to
kazowie.
start our second sizzle reel here. And this is our second one.
Okay.
And this is a tough question.
Ooh, okay.
Chrissy, you're the owner of Bluegrass Grill and Bakery.
Yes.
How in the hell have you built a restaurant that is constantly on a wait all the time, where people are literally willing to wait on an asphalt parking lot in the rain, heat, snow, for an hour plus
All those things
to
are
go
true.
into a dining room that is a little crowded, And sometimes the wait staff is bumping into you as they're
Oh
going from table to table. How have you done this?
Well, that is a tough question. You know, I walked into an already existing restaurant with an already existing template, which was a huge, I'm not 100% sure I could start from scratch. I've never done it, so I don't know. But from what I had, it was, you know, amazing food, great portions, decent price. They kept the staff small and tight. And I think when things truly changed, and I'm going to give a shout out to Remy Duguay, one of our old cooks that worked for Bluegrass, again, for years and years. He started specials. We never had specials. We never had one iota of specials. And he was our star cook at the time. He was our solo guy. He worked 6 days a week, every single day. He worked Saturdays by himself. He was so fast. Oh my God, he was so fast. And he started this idea of like, he threw a bunch of specials at me, had me try them. I'm like, oh my God, these are amazing. So we started the specials list. And that was a turning point for the restaurant itself. We just expanded on it, exploded it. Now we have, you know, a full page of specials. There's a whole nother full page coming out when I redo the menus this summer. And everyone on staff, front of the house, back of the house, has full reign to throw me a special and be like, you know, and I just ask them, do we have the ingredients for this, or do I need to order more stuff? Is this something viable you can do on the weekends? Because some stuff just doesn't work.
Of course.
When you're like, you know, crazy.
Chaos.
Organized chaos,
Yeah.
but yet it's still very much chaos.
Right.
And if you can't, you know, if this isn't going to work in your, you know what you're working with back there, this your, you know, teeny tiny little space. Is it going to work on the weekend? If it doesn't, can you make it work on the weekend? And if you can't, then we can't do it, because that's like the key right there.
Right.
And my son has contributed quite a few specials. My daughter is now contributing quite a few specials. The cooks obviously contribute specials. We take ideas from customers. We basically try to make it as inclusive as possible.
I love that.
So I think part of my success is that we are very inclusive with each other. Like, everyone has a say in how things are run, how we do things.
It's a community.
We're family. A very weird, dysfunctional family, like every restaurant is, but, you know, there's only 10 of us. Like,
Really?
That's it. There's just 10 of us.
Front and back of the house.
Yes.
That's
There's
amazing.
10. There's 10. Yep. That run the show 6 days a week. And why not? I mean, I think it's just really important. Like, I've worked in a lot of places where the boss is a great big D-bag and, like, you know, do what he says or you're going to get fired kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the first time I started working for Mark and Gus at Blue Moon, like, they're the guys that would also get on the floor to, like, look at a refrigerator in the middle of service.
Do the dirty work.
They would do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And I vowed at that point, I said, if by some chance I ever end up running a restaurant or owning a restaurant, I'm going to be that boss too. Like, I'm going to do the grease traps. I'm going to mop the floors. I'm going to unclog the toilet. You know, like, I'm not ever going to ask any of my people to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And I think that level of respect, you know, the amount of, you know, they saw how much I worked. They saw the 80-hour weeks. They saw the, you know, dragging myself in at 4 o'clock in the morning for years on end. And, you know, I think they understand how much I respect them and their jobs and what they do, and they respect me in kind. So that's been a big part of it as well, I think.
I love that answer. Second sizzle reel right there. End it right there, Harris Tolber. Harris Tolber, our director, making this show possible. I I want to throw this to you. We talked about this off air, and you're getting a lot of props. Cena Floyd says, best breakfast in town, hands down. Good food, great people, make it worth the wait every single time. Melissa Catola.
Yeah, I know her.
Help me with her last name.
Flag.
Mm-hmm. No better role models than Mark and Gus. Love you, Chrissy. You know you've always got our support. You rock. Like and share the stream on any of the channels that you're watching. Like and share the stream, and that puts Chrissy and the show in the spotlight. You have a lot of freaking people watching right now. Let me throw this to you.
Yes.
We talked about this off air, that being like this business owner, especially in the restaurant business, because of the Food Network, and especially an entrepreneur in general, just because like shows like Shark Tank make business owners and entrepreneurs seem like rock stars and celebrities. Will you please, and we talk about this often, debunk this miserable stigma?
Yes,
because I'm taking the freaking trash out. I got here at 6 in the morning. I'm going to leave here at 7:30 tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. Yeah. My wife and I are going to eat a very quick bite to dinner.
Yes.
I'm going to jump in bed, drink a beer, and have the beer on my nightstand and probably pass out by like 9:30.
Halfway done. You're not even going to finish it.
And then wake up and do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Debunk the stigma of entrepreneurship, restaurateur entrepreneurship.
I can definitely
it's not a rock star
debunk
lifestyle.
that from my own experience. I don't know anybody else's experience, not a clue, but I feel like it's probably similar to mine. For about 3 years straight, I worked 80 hours a week. I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I would go to work, be there by 4:30. I would work till close, which is 2, be there till like 3:30, go to the bank, go home, take a shower, get in my pajamas, and then probably do the bills or make muffins for the restaurant or do something else restaurant-oriented before I passed out at 9 o'clock. 6 days a week. And on my off day was, the day I do errands for myself, I would do laundry. You just never get a break. And in the Food Network, it all looks glamorous, and they're traveling, and they're beautiful, and you don't see the scars, and you don't see the the exhausted, because they're made up. You don't see the exhausted faces, and you don't see the fact that they've had 5 hours of sleep a night for 3 years straight. And so the Food Network, it's glorious. It's made a lot of people think that they want to be chefs or entrepreneurs.
It really has.
But it's just not. It's a lot. Oh my God, how much work it is. Even if you just to be in the business, that's not even counting like owning or managing. Just to be in this business, you put your body, your mind, your emotions, everything through the ringer. Not to say it's not worth it. I can't imagine doing anything else with my life, nor have I thought about it. But it really does take a certain kind of person that is willing to put themselves through that level of exhaustion every day, all the time. I watched Laura Fauner's.
She's amazing.
She is truly amazing.
Yeah.
She's walking the walk and talking the talk. And when she was talking about all the hours she works, I'm like, I'm right there with you,
She's
sister.
watching right now.
I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're going through. And, so now, looking back on it, there are things I might have changed a little bit, like maybe hiring. Because when I got in as owner, I didn't hire a manager out of the gate. I just was like, I've got to learn all this stuff. I got to know all this stuff. So I'm just going to do it. And, my kids were grown enough so they didn't need babysitters. So I'm like, I can do they're relatively, self-sufficient at this point. I can just do it. And now, knowing what I know, I would definitely have hired somebody to do something, whether it was the admin, whether it was...
Is that your least favorite? What is your least favorite aspect of this, of owning your restaurant?
Administrative stuff can definitely be a little time consuming,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like there's as much reward.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah,
It's
just
so
like
important to the
sitting.
business,
Oh my
but
God,
it's
sitting
so
down and
effing
doing the
annoying
bills.
and
I just
tedious.
look at it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can totally be doing something
Right.
else right now. Like,
Right.
I want to be doing, but I have to pay the bills.
Right.
And I sit down once a month, and it takes me like 2 hours. I'm like, oh God,
That's your
when is
least
this going to be
favorite,
over?
huh?
It is kind of my least favorite.
Yeah.
The line also scares me. I've slowed down in my age. I am not as fast as the boys are anymore. I only do it once or twice a year now.
Okay. So maybe not slow down, maybe out of practice.
It's a little of both.
Yeah.
It's a little of both. It is also definitely not, it is a young man's game or woman. It's not, I'm hitting that age where it's, I'm
You're talking about the physicality?
Yes.
Yeah? Put that in
Yes.
perspective. Put the line into perspective. We have a number of chefs watching right now.
Okay, so our line,
Is it small? Is it tight?
oh my God.
It's so tight.
Yeah, the person behind you, you can feel them breathing down your neck, literally, all day long. If it's a weekend. If you're on, during the week, you're by yourself, so it's a little bit more breathing room. So we have our flat top, which is 3 feet. That's it. It's a very tiny little flat top. And then right next to it is a 4-burner stove, and then right next to that is a convection oven. And then you turn 180, and you've got your Bain-Marie lowboy right there. That's it. And there's probably about that much space from the flat top to the lowboy. So literally, you could stand like this and turn around, conveniently be able to get everything that you need.
Right.
So you're not like running
You
all
can
the,
reach to everything.
Right. And then on the weekends, when we have the back person, they're the ones that refill. So they're the ones that go to the back and get everything out of the fridge and refill it and bring it back, so that the line guy is just right there. Because they're also the expo guy. They're making sure everything's on the plate before. They're the flat top guy. And the behind is saute and refill. So yeah, teeny tiny, very hot little kitchen. We don't have a salamander. We do have like one little industrial commercial toaster. It's just tiny and hot and cramped, and you're literally in someone's aura bubble for 6 straight hours.
How many covers on a Saturday or Sunday? 2 people are turning out. Start to finish, beginning of the day to the end of the day.
250 to 300.
Jesus!
From 7 a.m. to 1:30.
2 people.
2 people.
250 to 300 covers. Covers are people, guys.
Yes. And then on the weekends, on Sunday, it's about the same with an hour and a half less
Holy
difference.
Shit. That is amazing.
They are rock stars. They are truly rock stars. Like, in my mind, I did their job. It's really hard.
How about the physical toll, pounds lost?
I
mean, you got to lose a ton of water weight.
lost weight when I was back there, but I think that was also partially the stress.
Yeah.
The amount of stress that I was under constantly, and then doing the line. It was stressful for me. I was the face of the business. I was the one putting the food out. I was, if anything was wrong, I took it personally.
Are you a perfectionist?
To a certain degree.
Okay.
Not OCD perfectionist,
Okay.
but I want the food to look nice.
Sure.
Even though it's hash slinging basically,
It's
but
breakfast.
I still want it to look nice.
Right?
So the physical, you're on your feet. You're on your feet the whole time. So like when I work on the weekends, I'm opening, so I'm there for 3 hours before we even open the door, getting everything ready, get everything going. And then you're still there a whole nother hour to an hour and a half afterwards, cleaning up, getting everything, making lists, getting the standard order ready, seeing if I need to go shopping, blah, blah, blah. Like, do I need to go to Sam's Club for something because we're out of it? Or do I need to go to Whole Foods? Or do I need to go here or there? So that part of it, it's exhausting. After all the years, I ended up with an autoimmune thyroid condition, which slowed me down considerably, to my dismay at the time, but now I do see it as more of It's a blessing. You know, it kind of makes me stop and
Pump
be
the
like,
brakes.
pump the brakes and
Yeah.
be like, well, either you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life or you're going to have to get a handle on this thing. And, you know, now, you know, I see doctors now, which I never did before, and I get blood tests and all the fun stuff. But it really knocked me on my ass pretty hard.
Put it into perspective. Autoimmune thyroid condition.
It's called Hashimoto's hypothyroidism.
Okay.
It's it's an autoimmune, which means I now have it for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Hypothyroidism means that your thyroid is not producing enough hormone to make your body do what it's supposed to do. I can put it into a kind of remission with diet and medication and relaxation techniques, which I'm doing all of those things. And the last piece of it, like I had to go gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free,
How hard
grain-free.
was that for you?
I'm still doing it.
Yeah?
It's really hard. I can't even eat anything in my own restaurant
I was going to say,
anymore.
because that's
I
the
can't eat
antithesis
eggs.
of your restaurant.
It's completely the antithesis of my restaurant, yes. So it's interesting, like I throw out specials ideas, I put them together, and then I have to have other people try them. I can't even try my own dishes anymore, which really bums me out. But I'll take little tiny bits of it, but I can't feel the full experience like I used to.
You seem to, from the mental side, handling it and like have embraced it and are like
Yes.
very self-aware
Yes.
and almost okay with that.
I
Was
am.
it from the beginning that
No,
way?
absolutely not.
Can you put that into perspective?
I initially kind of dug my head in the sand and was like, oh, I'll just take, you know, like everybody does, oh, I'll just take the medicine and everything will be fine.
No.
This is not, autoimmune diseases are not, I'll just take the medicine and everything will be fine. Like, you know, I started doing a ridiculous amount of research online about it and found out that most doctors don't really know a whole lot about it. And this is all forums full of people going, okay, so you have this, you need to do this, 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 and this. And initially I was kind of like, I'll go gluten-free and see what happens. And then after a year, I'm like, oh, that really didn't help much. Let's go dairy-free and see how that works. And then I just kind of hit a plateau. I'm like, I'm not getting any better. I'm not getting any worse. But I want to feel better. I want to, you know, I had no memory. I had this, it felt like I was walking in molasses in January all the time. Brain fog.
That's a great simile.
I just couldn't, like, you could tell me something and I'd forget if I didn't write it down. And even if I wrote it down, 50-50 chance I'd still forget. I still do. So I'm like, I can't. Like, I would have problems forming words, like, after, like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I really just had, like, my tongue would get tied and I would think and be like, I know what word I'm looking for. So I'm on this very ridiculously special diet right now.
This is resonating with people that are watching now. Seriously.
Called the Autoimmune Protocol. Basically, it eliminates all allergens except for super personal ones. So you eliminate gluten, dairy, eggs, nuts, grains, all you can, nightshades. So you can eat fruit, you can eat meat, and you can eat most vegetables except for like peppers, tomatoes. You also have to eliminate all nightshade spices, all seed spices, everything. It is definitely challenging my culinary skill, trying to figure out what I can eat, when I can eat it. And that it's actually helped quite a lot. It's actually helped a lot. My energy's better. The brain fog is not as bad. My memory's a little bit better. I just had a blood test and my thyroid numbers were really, really good. So I really hope that that's, you know, this is going to be it. I'm hoping to be able to reintroduce some stuff because that's the whole idea is like you go this diet for X amount of time and then when you feel like you've healed, you start reintroducing things in a very specific order. So like you introduce egg yolks before egg whites because when most people are allergic, it's to egg whites, not egg yolks. You can't introduce nightshades till the very, very end. You can't introduce coffee till I haven't had coffee in months.
Shit.
So that's one of the, I'm not even sure I want to now. I'm like, I drink matcha all the time, every day. I'm done. But it's been a very long journey.
I respect your courage so much.
Very long journey.
That's a sizzle reel start to finish there. I mean, that's amazing. Nikki Wooten-Chambliss, this is big time resonating with me. Bill McKenzie, thank you for watching. James Watson, Michael Guthrie, Brent Waters in North Carolina, outside Charlotte. He's the North Carolina racquetball champion. John Kluge's watching. Amanda Terpolowski is watching.
She's at work right now.
Folks watching in Tennessee and Richmond and Northern Virginia, across Central Virginia, North Carolina, and Philadelphia, outside Chicago. Denise Postlewaite is watching, Harris, from Kilwins on the mall. She's watching right now. Cena Floyd says you're an amazing person. You're also an amazing artist. Farrell Kelly, Chrissy, I am so proud of your hard work, your courage, and your success. I hope we can come to CVille for breakfast very soon. Give the show a like and a share. I'm happy to relay any comments you would like to Chrissy, who is obviously a rock star. Robin Parker says hello. John Broom says hello. On any of the channels you're watching, the Bluegrass Grill page is freaking blowing up right now. Grace Masia, Jonathan Galasso, just to name a few. We'll also give some props right now, and I got a question coming to you to Rob Lawson, who's watching on Bluegrass Grill. Earl Vess, Radihu Roba, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. I appreciate you watching the show.
Yeah.
What I love about you and your brand and your restaurant is being an entrepreneur, I feel like is like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And as long as you're going 2 steps forward each day, you're still going forward. And maybe some days it's 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. But on average, it's like 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
You have bad days.
You have bad days.
You have great days where you go 2 steps forward and you don't take a step back.
Right.
That
And then
happens.
you're further along the road.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it comes down, and I'm just going to throw this to you. It's like never as good as you think it is, but it's never as bad as you think it is. And that, in a lot of ways, is just like business ownership. Throw that to you.
Yes, that is very true. You do a lot of, my big thing is getting ready for the worst all the time. Oh, I heard a rumor that somebody, might need a day off or whatever. What are the a lot of contingency plans, many contingency plans.
What is the possible worst at Bluegrass Grill and Bakery?
Ooh, wow.
Because from a restaurant standpoint, your food is so damn good that people keep coming.
I don't know. I don't think I've had the worst. Knock on wood again. But, we've had... we've had people call out. We've had people get sick. We've had people carted away by an ambulance. We've had the hood fans go down. We've had the gas go out. We've had the Bain Marie. Literally every piece of equipment has gone down, sometimes simultaneously. It's always on a goddamn Saturday or Sunday. It's never on a Tuesday when I'm perfectly capable of dealing with it. It's always on the weekend when everyone's right up here all the time. Oh my God. So I'm not sure there is a worst. We've plowed through everything that we've been handed. We've all worked extra. We've all put our time in. We've all held each other up when we had to. We've covered each other. Pat fell at one point, broke her knee, and we all covered her shifts. And then she came back. And, that's what we do for everybody. You got sick or your kid got sick. Okay, we'll cover you till you get back. Whether it's a week or 3 weeks or 5 weeks. I've had cooks go to jail and come back because we're just all right, you'll have a job when you get out. Why shouldn't you have a job when you get out? I know plenty of places that would be well, F him, he's done, we're out. But I've worked for those places, and I thought that sucked. And, it's if you don't want to come back, that's fine, but you'll have a job when you're done doing whatever it is that's happening. And And I think it's important because I think a lot of people don't take 6 days and they don't take vacations and they don't do the things that they need to do for themselves and their families because they're afraid they're not going to have anything when they get back. And, you know, Americans don't take care of themselves. They just don't. I mean, on the whole, we work too much. We work too hard.
You learned that firsthand.
I did. And we don't take care of ourselves.
Would you do it differently with what you know now with the benefit of hindsight?
I'd probably still work a little bit too much. But
I was going to say, you probably had a grind to do this.
You know, once it was handed to me, I did.
Right.
If it had never been handed to me.
It's a catch-22.
I don't know. I'd probably just still be working at Bluegrass. I probably wouldn't have gone anywhere. I'd probably still be working full-time on the front and be perfectly happy because I'd be making enough money. The hours aren't terrible, you know. I don't think I would have ever cooked. I would have never baked. I would have never done all the things that I've done. But once it was handed to me, I knew its worth. I knew.
Would you want to be the owner again?
Yeah.
Yeah? You say that with confidence?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would.
I ask myself that a lot.
I feel like that I was just given an incredible opportunity. I didn't even have to like hand them a chunk of money. Like I just bought in as time, it was sweat equity.
Right.
Right.
That's an opportunity for sure.
For someone who had no money
right.
and, credit was,
right.
and, I just could not.
Because I have friends now
I
in the
couldn't let
restaurants,
it go.
your contemporaries that are going to family or second mortgages on home or like stringing together credit cards.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Done it all to keep this place afloat. Like, that's another thing. People who think they want to own restaurants, you better have a ton of money because restaurants don't make money. They just don't. It is a fact. Especially in your first 5 years. If you can last the first 5 years, glory be. You're lucky that you're maybe in the black if you're lucky. But don't go into this thinking that you're some friggin' star chef and you're going to like make all this ton of money and be able to travel and whatever. Totally not true. If you're going to be in this business, it has to be because you love this business and for no other reason.
It's good advice.
Because you're not going to be a millionaire. You're not going to end up on the Food Network. You're just not. I mean, if you get lucky maybe for one of the shows that like come around once in a while, but like you are not going to be, the next Rick Bayless or the next,
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. Or, oh God, I can't remember his name right now, the redheaded guy. That's embarrassing.
Bobby Flay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bobby Flay. Like, those are, the chance of you actually,
right.
Like you can be a rock star in your own town.
Right.
But.
Which you are. You totally are. We got some comments coming in. Anthony Walker, I'm so proud of you, Chrissy. Said Pepe loves you.
Oh my God. He was one of the catering. He worked for Han Gustafson Catering when I worked at Blue Moon. I've known him a long, long time.
I got this from Jeremy Stanwyck from Washington, D.C. Guys, I'm watching on my lunch break in the office right now in Cubicle City. Chrissy, I love your restaurant. I'm a UVA graduate. Every time we come back to Charlottesville, which is often, we try and eat at your restaurant. We probably have success 1 out of 4 times. Because I have to ask you about your tattoos. I've noticed the butterfly on your forearm. And is that a hanger?
It is a hanger.
So cut to the profile shot. We're going on this camera here, and we can
that
see
one?
her arms. Yeah, show your arms. And then tell us about the ink.
All
it's
kinds
baller.
of ink.
It's so baller.
All the ink. So most of them have stories. This one, which I'm going to get recolored, is my son, which is Aspen. And my daughter's name is Kira, and in Persian, that means the sun. So that's their tattoo. And this was just, it's Celtic. It's maiden, mother, crone. It's the 3 stages of life a woman goes through. This is a hanger that I just got at Black Rabbit Tattoo in Richmond for their Planned Parenthood fundraiser. It was a great crowd. We had so much fun. Kira and I went. We both have tattoos from there now. This was just pretty. This is my, I am embracing my Hashimoto's hypothyroidism tattoo. The blue butterfly is a representation of thyroid disease. No, it's the only one that ever got infected, too. It's very interesting.
Wow. There's some symbolism or something there.
This, the Bluegrass logo,
Love it.
I got the day I signed the contract to be an owner. My daughter and I have this matching tattoo. This is pretty. This one, we lost one of my employees not long ago. So this tattoo is for him. My daughter and my son and I all have this matching tattoo. I have a few on my back, one on my leg. I get one tattoo on my birthday every year.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So how many tattoos?
Oh, God. I'm going to say 15. I could be wrong. I have one on the back of my neck.
Love it. It looks like a
Go
knife.
this way.
What do we have there?
It's a knife, a whisk, and a spoon.
A knife, whisk, and a spoon. Do you have a favorite?
Ooh, no, I don't have a favorite tattoo.
They all tell a story.
They
They're all symbolic of something.
Some of them are just flat, like pretty, but a lot of them have story behind them. I have a phoenix on one shoulder. I have a hummingbird on another shoulder. And then I just got, my last birthday tattoo is an ode to Georgia O'Keeffe. It's ram skull with a flower. And then I did a bunch of Polish folk art.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I love that you show them.
I love them. I do. And I'm so glad I'm in a business where I can be like, tattoos everywhere.
Right, it's embraced.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture.
It is. It really is. So yeah, every year I go get another tattoo.
I think that's a sizzle reel. I thought that was so dynamic, Harris. Make that, please. Bellamy Brown, thank you for joining us. Chelsea Powers, thank you for joining us. You've made this show so easy. We're an hour in. I have more questions that I need to throw to you, a couple more. We're going to get to as many as possible. So John's watching in Crozet. He says, I love the show, Jerry. I try to tune in as much as possible. I love Bluegrass Grill. Why not expand, Chrissy? You have such a rabid following. Why not expand the dining room or open another location? I'm sure you get that all the time.
I do, actually.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. Why don't I expand?
There's only one of you.
I think a lot of it is there's only one of me.
Yeah.
In the space that we have, we will not expand. It's just not going to happen. We can't, we can't fit any more people in there. Our kitchen, like when we got the patio, a lot of people were like, ooh, more seating. I'm like, nope, absolutely not. Because if we got more seating, that means we have more tables, which means we have more tickets, which means y'all are going to wait a lot longer now. So we decided from the get-go we were not going to use the patio as seating. It's a nice waiting area. We have people they come in and they get coffee and they get biscuits or strawberries, something real easy for them to get, but we do not serve outside just because our kitchen cannot handle it. They handle what they can handle, especially on the weekends, and that's it. I've had some probably not so serious offers to franchise, or, start a Bluegrass in California or up north or this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, I don't know. I feel very comfortable doing this. Like, I don't want to have to run 5 or 6 different restaurants. I mean, Will Ritchie, amazing guy, runs a whole bunch of restaurants. Great. I just don't feel like I'm that person. Maybe when I was 20, maybe even when I was 30, but I am perfectly happy with the size of my restaurant. I'm happy with the size of my staff. The only thing I would ever change would be get a little more storage. Would be so nice. We have no walk-in. We have no basement, nothing. We have one big fridge and 2 freezers. That's it. which means your food is very fresh because we have to replenish the fridges, but we have no storage capacity. That's the one thing that I would change if I could change. But expanding, go up to New York, see those tiny little brunch places where you wait 2 or 3 hours just to sit down for brunch. They're all over the place. They're everywhere. Smaller places than mine. I don't know. I just feel like it works the size that I'm not sure that I could make it any bigger and have it be as successful as it is.
Fair answer. I like that. Honest answer. Harris, I want to get you involved here. We're going to get Harris Tolber. We always have him chime in.
Okay.
As we challenge him here
okay.
at the I Love CVille show.
Okay.
Harris Tolber, your thoughts on the interview, anywhere you want to go here with Chrissy, the owner of the Bluegrass Grill.
Yeah, Jerry, it's been a good interview so far. I've enjoyed it. I love Chrissy, your storytelling ability. It's captivating,
blah, blah, blah,
and hearing pretty much your journey just to where you are now. And I actually I went down to or when my dad was here, it was the first time we kind of ventured over to Bluegrass Grill and Bakery. And
did you get in?
I don't think we got it.
Was it Saturday or Sunday?
It was, I think.
I'm sorry.
I don't even remember what day it was, but like we just like pulled in the garage, came around the corner. We're like, okay, this place it's like people are out the door. I like crawled through everybody to get and be like, how long was the wait? They were like, it's like an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like I'm definitely gonna have to try this out. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane how busy y'all are, how popular y'all are.
35 years I've been in this business.
Yeah.
I have never, ever, ever seen anything like it.
Neither have I.
I've worked.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
I've worked in plenty of diners,
yeah.
and there's waits, but diners are huge. I mean, have you ever been to a Jersey diner?
Yes.
Seats 200.
Right.
Like, there's no wait because everybody gets to sit down.
Right. My wife's from Long Island. I know those diners well.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, they're all
everywhere, and
yeah.
they're huge.
But your food is way better than that. It is so. It's
I
not
like to
comparable
think
to a
it's
Long
better.
Island diner.
I like to think it's better. I like to think that we put a lot of thought into it.
I almost feel like characterizing it as a diner is unfair and unjust.
Probably.
It's like it's a few steps up.
Right, but what is it? Like, it's not. Like even in the best of CVille, we don't get characterized as a restaurant. We get characterized as a brunch place.
I feel like it's almost like craft brunch.
Maybe it could be considered.
Like
I mean, we have the
brunch.
basics, but then we have things like probably the most popular thing on the menu, hands down. Still, thank you, Remy. It's the Hungry Norman. It's a Benedict. We really dig Benedicts. We like making all kinds of fun Benedicts. This one is an English muffin with blackberry jam, goat cheese, maple link sausage, eggs, and hollandaise. And it sells like wildfire.
It's so good.
It sells like friggin' wildfire. Like during the week, on the weekends, like if anybody says, this is my first time here, that's what you want. And then come back and have something else.
You were crushing it. You were crushing. This is one of the easiest interviews we do. You have a really what Harris said. You're a great storyteller. You have a great way with words.
Thank you.
Why don't we close with this? And we haven't touched on this. Working with your son and your daughter at your business that you own. Put that into perspective. Anywhere you want to go with that. That'll be the last one.
Okay. My kids are amazing. My kids are hardworking. My kids take direction well. My kids have learned from watching me bust my ass for all these years that that's not a terrible thing to do, that you need to, balance, work-life balance, very important. My son, he is glorious. He needs direction when he's in the restaurant. He is very, very good with words. He can tell you a story, sing you a song. He also knows that menu inside and out. And he gets often distracted by talking to people about the menu and whatever. And Kira has to give him a prod and be like, move it! But on the whole, my children, working with them, I had never intended on it being a family restaurant per se, but it has become a family restaurant. It has become, especially for my daughter, she's just incredible. I mean, I call her my little because she has picked it up so thoroughly, so quickly. Like if this is something that she wants to do with her life, I think she easily could and could easily be very successful at it. Aspen, he's the idea man. Like he comes up with a lot of the names for specials. He comes up with a lot of specials. He's a vegetarian, so he kind of hits that area that I don't see as much. Very creative. He's also got an incredible work ethic, but he wants to do film. So he's in Los Angeles doing his thing. And Kira and I are running the show, and we're best friends. I'm best friends with my kids. I could not have asked for anything better than being able to hang out with my kids and not like, you know, you hear the stories of...
And get along.
And we get along.
Yeah.
We don't only get along, but like Kira and I got tattoos together in Richmond. I mean, they're just both incredible. I've raised with my ex-husband and a crew of people, some really amazing humans, and I am just so proud to be able to say that out loud and mean it and not even second guess it.
Love that answer. Can we get that a sizzle reel? I think that would be great for our family. You crushed it. Catherine Matthews, welcome to the show. Iron Poffles and Coffee.
Woohoo.
A number of restaurant owners watching the program right now and watching it start to finish. We'll archive the show in totality on ilovecville.com. Bluegrass Grill and Bakery rocks. Closed Monday.
Closed on Mondays.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get in there and try the restaurant. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get in there, try the restaurant. You may wait.
So we'll tell you, there's a little secret.
What's
there's
the secret?
There's a secret for the weekend.
It's not going to be a secret after you say this.
It doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
really not a secret. It's just something we don't broadcast most of the time.
Okay.
The bar does not count in the list. If you've ever been there, you
Beeline to
understand
the
what
bar.
that means. Yes, you can skip the entire list. Some people don't like the bar. I don't understand
I
that.
love the
I
bar.
love the bar.
Yeah.
I always go for the bar.
Right. I
But some
always go
people
for the
don't
bar.
dig the bar and they want to sit at a table. We totally understand that. But if you are bar people and you want to hear the wait staff chitter-chattering and cussing and doing all kinds of fun stuff, and you can see every dish on the menu come out of the kitchen, you want to sit at the bar. You want to be able to chat with the wait staff and ask them questions and laugh with them, and because they're really cool people.
Catherine says, I love Bluegrass. Bluegrass rocks. I love your brunch. I'm truly inspired by Chrissy. She's a badass restaurateur and a badass businesswoman. And that's coming from another one.
Yes.
And Catherine Matthews,
Yes.
who's a badass restaurateur and a badass businesswoman.
They
at
all
Iron
are.
Poffles
All the
and
women.
Coffee. Yeah.
Rock on, ladies.
Right.
You guys are amazing, all of you.
Love
I
that.
know how hard you work. I do.
Love that.
Too.
This was a great show.
Thank you
Hey,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this. I love doing this. I love talking with folks like Chrissy. I learned so much. It's inspiring. We'll archive the show in totality on ilovecville.com. Tomorrow, another badass restaurateur, brewmaster, businesswoman, Mary Wolf from Wild Wolf Brewing Company. Now her neighbor in the glass building, got a downtown tap room. I think Virginia's first truly green brewery, and they've won it many years in a row, on 151 in Nelson County. Mary Wolf and her son, Danny Wolf, own and operate Wild Wolf Brewing Company. Danny is the brewmaster. Mary is the business, the vision, the acumen. They're going to join us on set tomorrow to spotlight their entrepreneurial journey as we showcase the best of Charlottesville, Virginia, and the best of Central Virginia on the I Love CVille show. We close the show the same way every single time, and we ask everyone to embody the golden rule. I'm not making it about religion. I'm just making it about treating others how you want to be treated yourself. Treat other people how you want to be treated yourself, and watch the incredible positive impact it will have on our community. And I think Charlottesville and Central Virginia need the golden rule now more than ever before. My name is Jerry Miller for Harris Tolber, Judah Wickauer, Lauren Linsky, and the team upstairs. It's the I Love CVille show. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 with the Wild Wolf Brewing Company story. Have a good afternoon, guys. You were so good.
Woo!
So
Awesome. Thank
Seriously.
you very much.
Yes.
That was awesome.
You made it so easy. An hour and change. We got one more thing to do. Judah's going to get our picture. And did you get our email address, Judah?